Right now, I mean, literally as you're listening to this, there is someone out there with absolutely zero coding experience who is sound asleep.
Completely fast asleep.
Right, totally asleep. And while they sleep, a piece of software they set up just yesterday is currently um, analyzing search trends, drafting a 5,000-word ebook, generating the cover art, formatting the file, and publishing it to a digital storefront.
It is wild to think about.
It really is. By the time they wake up, their product will be live and their automated marketing sequence will have already started emailing potential buyers. Like, this isn't some theoretical science fiction future state.
Mhm.
We are looking at the actual mechanics of how people are building these systems today. It's basically a modern-day gold rush.
Yeah, the shift we are seeing is fundamentally about moving away from being a producer of content to becoming, a manager of systems.
Right.
The people pulling ahead right now recognize that trading hours for dollars is a trap, even if you have tools that make your hours more efficient. They're using artificial intelligence to sever the link between their time and their output entirely.
So, if you've been using tools like ChatGPT to, write an email a little faster or maybe summarize a long PDF, you've probably felt that lingering sense that you're only scratching the surface of what's possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And you aren't wrong. Today's deep dive is about crossing that gap.
Mm-hmm.
We are tearing into a highly practical manual called AI Cashflow. Turn ChatGPT into your 24/7 money machine, the 2025 edition by K. Shukla.
It's such a great breakdown.
It really is. Our mission today is to demystify all of this AI stuff, strip away the confusing tech jargon, and show you exactly how regular people are using these tools to build automated businesses, scale freelance work, and generate passive income.
Yeah, getting right into the nuts and bolts.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Before we can start mining the gold, we really need to understand our pickaxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to move from the hype of AI to the practical reality of what ChatGPT actually is and how to use it.
Right, and the book addresses a persistent misconception about what large language models actually are. People tend to treat ChatGPT like a hyper-advanced search engine.
Like a super Google.
Exactly. They ask it a question, they expect a static answer. But treating a generative model like a retrieval engine is a fundamental misapplication of the technology. It is a reasoning engine.
A reasoning engine.
Right. The value doesn't come from the facts it has memorized in its training data. The value comes from its ability to process complex logic and follow systemic constraints that you actually design.
Which explains why the book makes such a clear distinction between the free tier, which is GPT 3.5, and the paid $20 a month architecture of ChatGPT Plus with GPT-4.
Oh yeah, the difference is night and day.
Like, if you are just looking up recipes, the free version is fine. But for the serious business applications we are about to discuss, the paid tier isn't just about faster server access. It's about priority access, the expanded context window, and the plugins, right? It's a necessary ROI for a business owner.
The expanded context window is absolutely non-negotiable for serious applications. I mean, if you are feeding the model a 50-page transcript of customer interviews and asking it to extract pain points to generate marketing copy, a smaller model will literally forget the first 20 pages by the time it finishes the analysis.
It just drops the data.
Exactly. The book also emphasizes the concept of fine-tuning, but not in the highly technical sense of altering the model's foundational weights. It focuses on iterative context building.
So prompts, basically.
Well, yes, but advanced prompts.
Yeah.
You don't just give the AI a weak prompt like write an article about fitness. You provide it with a system role and a set of constraints. You ask follow-up questions to train the AI to match your specific style.
Like giving it a super strong prompt, like write a 1,000-word beginner's guide to home workouts, including sections on warm-ups, body weight exercises, that kind of thing.
Precisely. You tell it what it is, what its goal is, and crucially, what is absolutely forbidden from doing.
I always think of it like ChatGPT is less like an all-knowing oracle and more like an eager, lightning-fast intern.
That is a great way to put it.
Like it never sleeps, but it's really only as good as the instructions you give it. You might feed it 10 of your past newsletters and instruct it, hey, analyze the cadence, sentence length, and vocabulary of these examples. Your role is to replicate this exact voice.
And you can tell it, do not use words like synergy or revolutionary.
Right. You are programming its behavior through natural language. And once you have that customized behavioral model, you don't even have to stay inside the ChatGPT interface.
No.
The book details how this AI integrates into everyday apps like Microsoft Word for drafting and editing or Excel.
The Excel integration is where the efficiency compounding really begins. Instead of spending an hour troubleshooting a nested VLOOKUP or, a complex macro for financial modeling.
Which is the worst, by the way.
It is the worst. But now you just provide the AI with the column headers and the desired outcome in plain English, and it generates the exact syntax for the complex loan formulas instantly.
That is wild. And in Outlook, too, right? It acts as an email assistant.
Yeah, you aren't just having it write replies. You are having it triage your inbox, categorize client requests, and draft responses based on your historical data.
So now that our eager intern is trained and plugged into our apps, how do we put them to work generating actual cash flow, moving from active to passive income?
The book outlines a really clear pathway for this, using a case study of a freelancer named John.
Oh, right, John's story.
Yeah, John started with limited time and, honestly, no real big idea. He didn't invent a new market. He went to where demand already existed, platforms like Upwork and Fiverr.
Makes sense.
He started by using ChatGPT to write standard blog posts and product descriptions. He was charging, I think, about $50 initially. But because he used those highly constrained AI models we talked about, his output capacity was just staggering.
Right, because he wasn't spending 4 hours on a blog post. He was spending maybe 20 minutes on editorial oversight.
Exactly. He weaponized his output speed. And within 6 months, he scaled to over $5,000 a month by offering full eBooks and newsletters.
Let's drill into the mechanics of some of these service-based hustles the book highlights. Take YouTube automation, for example. The old way was just guessing what topics might hit.
Which is a terrible strategy.
Terrible. But the AI-leveraged way involves pulling raw search volume and competition data from an SEO tool like vidIQ. You feed that raw data into your AI model and instruct it to find the statistical anomalies.
You're looking for the topics with high search volume but low video supply.
Exactly. Then the AI generates the video titles, drafts the hook-focused scripts, and writes the SEO-optimized descriptions. You are essentially using the AI as a data scientist and a copywriter simultaneously.
Another fascinating application mentioned is ghostwriting for LinkedIn executives.
Yeah, this one is huge right now.
It is. High-level business leaders desperately want the inbound leads that come from being a thought leader, but they simply lack the time to write daily posts.
So how does the AI solve that?
The methodology is brilliant. You don't ask the AI to just invent their thoughts. You jump on a 15-minute Zoom call with the executive, ask them 3 provocative questions about their industry, run the raw audio through a transcription tool, and feed that transcript into the AI.
Okay, I see the appeal of the workflow, totally. But I have to push back on this a little bit. I hear about people doing this, but it almost sounds too easy. Like, if every ambitious freelancer now has access to the exact same foundational AI models, aren't we just flooding the internet with a tsunami of generic synthesized junk?
It's a very valid concern.
Right. Like, if I'm using GPT-4 to write an ebook for Amazon KDP Publishing, or doing print-on-demand designs with Canva or Deep Dream Generator for Redbubble, and 1,000 other people are doing the exact same thing, where is the actual value? Why would anyone buy mine?
What's fascinating here is that the author anticipates that exact bottleneck. AI provides the speed, but human curation provides the value.
So the human is still the secret ingredient.
Absolutely. If you just copy and paste the first draft the AI spits out, you are contributing to the noise, and the market will ignore you. AI doesn't replace the human touch, it just removes the blank page syndrome. It allows creators to focus on strategy and nuance.
So you are shifting your job title from writer to editor-in-chief, basically.
Yes. The AI is a synthesizer. If you feed it generic prompts, it synthesizes generic output. If you feed it your unique lived experiences or that raw interview transcript with a CEO, it synthesizes something entirely novel.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Affiliate marketing is another one the book mentions, right? Auto-writing product reviews. But again, you have to inject your own perspective or it's just generic filler. All right, so doing the work faster as a freelancer is great, but you're still fundamentally trading your time for money. If you stop editing the outputs, you stop getting paid. So how do we transition from a fast freelancer to a 24/7 automated machine?
This brings us to the realm of no-code AI automation. We're talking about connecting ChatGPT to platforms like Make.com, Zapier, and Bubble.io.
The connective tissue.
Exactly. These platforms allow you to extract data, update platforms, and handle customer service without manual input. They operate entirely in the background, triggered by specific events.
Wait, so I can use Zapier to connect ChatGPT to my WordPress, and it will just write and schedule my blog posts while I'm literally asleep.
It absolutely will. You set a trigger, say an industry news site updates its RSS feed. Zapier automatically pulls that text, fires it through the OpenAI API with your specific brand voice prompt, and pushes the rewritten, formatted post directly to your WordPress backend as a scheduled draft.
That is crazy. And the book mentions you can apply this to social media and email too, right?
Oh, definitely. You can use tools like Hootsuite or Buffer to schedule posts. You can use Synthesia or Pictory for AI-generated video clips.
Oh, Synthesia is the one with the digital avatars, right?
Yes, photorealistic avatars speaking your AI-written script. And for outbound marketing, tools like Copy.ai or MailChimp AI can write high-converting email sequences, A/B test subject lines, and optimize the campaign entirely on their own.
So this enables a solo freelancer to scale into a full agency. You utilize AI-enhanced delegation to manage virtual assistants and automate client communication. You're orchestrating a whole team's work of output by yourself.
And the source material actually provides a highly structured roadmap for executing this transition. They call it the 30-day AI business launch plan.
Oh, right, going from $100 to $10,000. Break that down for us.
Sure. It's a framework to move from zero infrastructure to full automation. Week 1 is entirely focused on market research and business setup.
Which seems counterintuitive when you have all these fast tools, but you need to know what people actually want first.
Exactly. You use AI to conduct market gap analysis, like scraping Amazon reviews to find customer complaints. Then in week 2, it's content creation and lead generation. You spin up the engines.
You start deploying those automated content workflows we just talked about.
Right. You maintain a relentless publishing schedule and launch automated cold outreach. Then week 3 is for sales and scaling offers. You might offer discounted initial projects for testimonials.
And this is where you introduce those passive digital products like an ebook or a video course.
Yes, assets that can be sold infinite times. And finally, week 4 is full automation and optimization. This is where you implement the Make.com or Zapier webhooks. You step entirely out of the day-to-day fulfillment loops.
You become the systems architect.
Sure.
Okay, so if machines are doing literally everything while we sleep, what happens to us? We need to address the ethical elephant in the room and look at where this is all heading.
It's a crucial point. Relying on large language models introduces significant ethical and legal considerations. The author dedicates a lot of time to the risks of plagiarism and content recycling.
Because these models are just predicting words based on existing human writing, right?
Exactly. A poorly constrained prompt can easily output text that is functionally identical to a copyrighted source. This is the absolute necessity of using checkers like Copyscape or Grammarly before publishing anything.
And there's an ethical mandate to disclose AI involvement to clients too, right? If you're a ghostwriter, you have to be transparent.
Must.
No.
Hiding the fact that AI is doing the initial drafting destroys trust. The balance is using AI for efficiency, drafts, data, workflows, but relying on humans for creativity, storytelling, and emotional intelligence.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We are looking to a near future with the rise of GPT-5. Better reasoning, fewer hallucinations, and we're seeing voice and multimodal AI with 11 labs in runway, custom personalized AI assistants.
The technology is advancing incredibly fast.
It sounds like AI is the ultimate co-pilot, but you still desperately need a human in the captain's chair to know where the plane is actually flying.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the most successful future entrepreneurs won't be the ones with the best AI. Tools change weekly.
So true.
The winners will be the individuals who build the most authentic, resilient personal brands. They will use AI behind the scenes to scale, but the actual product consumers buy into will be their unique story.
It's the importance of diversifying income streams and building that personal brand to survive AI policy changes and algorithm shifts. If Google updates its algorithm and wipes out your SEO traffic, but you have a dedicated email list and a strong brand, you survive.
Exactly. Diversification, anchored by human authenticity, is your shield.
All right, let's briefly recap the journey we've been on today. We've learned that AI is a tool, not a replacement. It's a reasoning engine.
Right, and by mastering strong prompts, utilizing everyday integrations like Word and Excel, we can transition from active to passive income.
We talked about launching high-leverage passive streams and automating with no-code tools like Zapier and Make.com to scale a business.
But most importantly, ethical transparency and human creativity remain your biggest competitive advantages.
So what does this all mean? It means the AI gold rush isn't about being a tech genius. It is about taking action. Remember, the book's prompt vault concept success is really just a few good instructions away.
It really is.
The barrier to entry has never been lower. You just need to understand how to design systems.
This raises an important question, though. As AI becomes capable of replicating almost any technical skill or creative pattern, your unique human perspective, your quirks, and your lived experiences will become the rarest, most valuable commodities on the market. How will you inject you into the machines of tomorrow?